Hello and welcome to this tutorial on how to add arguments to ForGoodReason.co.uk. When you visit the website for the first time, you'll be presented with a choice of 3 different versions. Choose your preferred flavor and then click the Add New Argument button on the left-hand panel. This will present you with this form. From left to right, we've got position. It's pretty self-explanatory. Claim. The claim is the textual content of the argument. A claim is either true or false. For example, I have a dog. Either I do have a dog or I don't. What time is it is not a claim. It's a question. It can't be true or false. Internal dependencies. This expresses the relation between claims within the argument. And external proof is a link to another argument on the website that proves one of the premises of this argument. So when you're writing an argument, you've got to have your conclusion in mind. And in my case, I want to show that I have an animal. A very modest and uninteresting conclusion, but illustrative. Okay, so I've typed in my claim. What next? Well, I need to add some premises. I need to provide some reasons for believing my conclusion. And because the conclusion should always be the last claim, I'm going to add some more claims before. If I click this button, I'm adding a claim after. Remove it. But I want to add a claim before. Okay, so my first premise is that I have a dog. But this isn't enough to show that I have an animal. I need to have another premise, and that premise is a dog is an animal. So far, so good. Now we need to express the relation between the conclusion and the premises. When we'd say this verbally, we'd say, I have a dog, and a dog is an animal, therefore I have an animal. On For Good Reason, we don't need to say therefore because we can type the number of the claims that the conclusion depends on. And in this case, it depends on the first claim, I have a dog, and see that that's highlighted, so you know you've typed in the right number. If I typed in 5, nothing happens because there is no 5th premise. So it depends on number 1, I have a dog, and it also depends on premise 2, a dog is an animal. Okay, so at the bare minimum, this is all you have to do. We have an argument now. We have 2 premises, we have a conclusion, and we have the relation between the premises and the conclusion. The premises provide a reason to believe the conclusion. Now, what if you want to justify the claim that dog is an animal? Personally, I don't know a lot about biology, so I don't want to write the argument myself, but perhaps somebody else on the website has already written an argument that proves this. So I'm going to open in a new tab the search bar, and I'm going to type in what I'm looking for, which is an argument about dogs. And luckily, there is an argument. A dog is an animal. So you click on that. And you should obviously read the argument and check that it's actually good and that you find it persuasive. But if you do, then probably your reader will also find it persuasive. So copy and paste the link from the address bar, go back to your argument, and here in external proof, you're going to paste the link to the argument that shows that a dog is an animal. So I'm going to paste that there. Okay, so there we have it. I have a dog is an animal, I have an animal. I'm going to click Add Argument. Argument successfully submitted, view it here. And there we go, there's our argument. And we can see that because we've expressed the internal dependencies, when you hover over these numbers, they're highlighted. I can see that the conclusion depends on that I have a dog and that dog is an animal. And because we've shown an external proof, when we click on this premise, and you can see it's a darker shade of orange, and when your mouse hovers over it, it's got a little plus. When you click on this, it expands in the page the argument that shows that a dog is an animal. The good thing about this is that the logic of this argument is now related to the logic of my argument, and we can see the consequences of dismissing one of these claims on my conclusion. So what if I don't agree that all members of the genus Canis are in the family Canidae? Well, I can click dismiss. You see that it's turned red, a line's gone through it. And if that's not true, then it turns out that it's not true that all dogs are in the kingdom Animalia. Well, why is that? Because that depends on the truth that all members of the genus Canis are in the family Canidae. And if all dogs aren't in the kingdom Animalia, then it means that a dog isn't actually an animal. And if a dog isn't an animal, then we don't know that I have an animal, because the conclusion I have an animal depends on the claim to a dog is an animal. But actually, I think that all members of the genus Canis are in the family Canidae. So I'm going to undismiss that. I'm going to minimize the argument. And there we have it. Hopefully this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, please post them in the comments, or you can email me here, pied3@hotmail.com. If there's any other aspects of the site that you would like a tutorial on, then I'd be glad to make them. Thanks for watching.